Avatar Fire and Ash aims for $100 million debut. How will James Cameron's epic hold over the holidays? Let's take a look at this out of Variety by Rebecca Rubin. So James Cameron's two previous epics, 2009's Avatar and 2022's Avatar: The Way of Water, each grossed well over $2 billion globally and stand as two of the biggest movies in history. So Hollywood has lofty expectations for the third installment. Based on projections, Disney's Avatar Fire and Ash is poised to lead with 90 million to 105 million from 3,800 theaters. I guess that's domestically. The film should collect another 250 million to 275 in its international debut for a global start between 340 and 365. Turnout is expected to be particularly robust on IMAX and 3D screenings. Now, they are talking about this, guys, like that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And for any other movie in the world, that's a good thing. Not for this movie.
I think the only reason why they're talking about this in this way, Marvin, to James Cameron's or Avatar's credit, is because of its legs historically. It has previously legged out. But that's the thing. I mean, to usually you're building momentum with subsequent films. These box office receipts are higher. With inflation alone, you would think that they would go up. But yet we're seeing a decline, at least from that first weekend box office. And look, it might leg out. It might actually catch an audience. People might actually be enthralled to actually go see it over and over again. We'll pause B-roll just one time here for this beautiful premiere footage that they Disney put up there that just occurred actually at the El Capitan. But I want to go ahead and talk about this as well. Fire and Ash debuts on Rotten Tomatoes with the lowest score of the trilogy. So it's like, it's not even enthralling critics. Now, it could enthrall audiences very well, but I am surprised that not even critics are giving this the time of day. So combine that with box office. This is kind of why we're bringing this topic up and to the forefront, because maybe the Avatar franchise, which is, by the way, 3 of 5, maybe having problems at the gate.
Maybe 3 out of 5, because if this does not do well, James Cameron has already expressed a willingness to walk away from Avatar for good. And we'll see if that actually happens. But who doesn't want him to walk away from it is Disney, because what you're looking at right here, this massive expansion of Animal Kingdom, this Pandora, the world of Avatar, a permanent theme park land based on an IP that makes a lot of money at the box office and nowhere else. It makes a lot of money at the box office and then fizzles out and vanishes from the cultural conversation. And not only, Vash, have they built this huge expansion here, but they are building another one over in California. So if this movie makes, let's say, like $1.2 billion, I don't think it breaks even.
It might not. I mean,
James Cameron has said that this movie costs a butt ton of money, and I'm paraphrasing there because he used words we can't use on that Park Place. But this movie, I would say the costs plus marketing are probably close to $1 billion. This probably needs to get close to $2 billion to break even.
Well, that would be substantial. I don't know if it's quite that expensive, but I mean, I would think you're looking at least $500 million for this film. If not more, to your point, Marvin, you could run into the possibility in which you break 1.5 and still not break even. I mean,
you got over $500 million for The Rise of Skywalker, and this is more expensive than The Rise of Skywalker.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I mean, you could get up there. You could very easily get up there. This is expensive franchise, this expensive series of films right here. Fire and Ash really needs to make its money back any way it possibly can, and I think they're taking that $2 billion into account when budgeting for this film. So to your point, Marvin, it could very easily be that. And the thing about the flywheel is that it's okay to invest big money in these pictures as long as it is a marketable franchise, as long as there's momentum, and as long as people are excited and enthused by merch to actually go to the parks, etc. Again, Bob Iger coming back to the CEO role after Bob Chapek, his first earnings call back. The one announcement, the trick that he pulls out of the hat every single time was, "Hey, we're doing Avatar in California." Because I think Way of Water had just premiered with $2 billion on the box office. I think he felt that this was the most marketable franchise that they had, with unfortunately the MCU and Star Wars falling off the way they did. So the future really, Avatar is one of those kind of what do you want to say? Big time franchises that they've been investing in. Again, just like Marvin pointed out, you're not only getting Animal Kingdom as we've gotten in 2017, but you're also getting Avatar in Disney's California Adventure over there in Disneyland Resort, and maybe perhaps Paris as well. Like, this is a big time deal here. They've got a lot riding on all of this.
Well, one thing I wanted to point out. I spend a lot of time in Animal Kingdom. It's my favorite of the 4 Walt Disney World parks. I never see people walking around with those banshees on their shoulders. I never see them with the Avatar ears or the Avatar tails. You don't see it. No one is buying this merch. It's not happening. People do not support this this franchise outside of theaters. It is an event movie. You go, you see it in the theater, and then you never think about it again until the next one comes out. Nobody memes this. There's no memes of Avatar that have ever gotten big. Nobody knows the names of these characters. Nobody is just like, oh, great, my favorite character, that guy. Like the villain came back in Way of Water, and I was just like, oh, who the heck is that? Like, I didn't even remember. These movies, they boggle the mind.
In Animal Kingdom, they just recently took out the so when you exit Flight of Passage, it automatically brings you into the gift shop. But there was a station where you could, I think, create your own little gizmo gadget thing. Like, it was an interactive experience, and it was something that you could take home, kind of like building a lightsaber over in Galaxy's Edge. But they took it out. Maybe it wasn't as popular, but like you said, you go to Animal Kingdom, you're walking around, you don't see people with the tails. I mean, maybe because I have kids, so I have paid attention, and not everybody that goes to Animal Kingdom without children is going to be, staring at children. But I get curious. I'm like, okay, what are these? What's going on here? What's the merch? What's popular right now? What are we looking for? But my kids took onto it. Our family enjoys it. We're actually going to go see it for Christmas. We're excited about it. I think this thing has done well globally, because if it didn't, why would they be putting it in perhaps Paris? They are making room for it in California. Whether we want this thing or not, it's a family-friendly film. It's probably not as rewatchable as you would want it to be, but it is really popular. And what I'm afraid of, and hear me out, are they going to do the same thing they did on the Star Cruiser? They're going to build it in California based off of the movie Fire and Ash without even knowing how it's going to do. Like, what are we doing?
Well, so here's the thing, guys. You've got this movie. You got the last 2 movies, both made $2 billion. The first one made darn near 3. I think it was like 2.8 billion. No movie since Way of Water has managed to crack $2 billion. Now, here's my question. Do you guys think Zootopia 2 is going to make $2 billion at the box office this year? No, right?
No.
Zootopia 2 opened $200 million, almost $200 million more than what they are anticipating for this.
Right. I mean, that's the really profound thing there is this thing needs legs like we wouldn't believe. I mean,
absolutely.
It honestly needs to have legs like the first one did in order to make the kind of money that I think is expected from these box office receipts as it relates to the Walt Disney Company. They've invested big time in this, and to MJ's point about merchandise, and to your point, Marvin, it's really interesting because we really haven't seen an expansion of the original Pandora in Animal Kingdom. You would think that if it was really popping off, if it was really popular, if it was really moving the merch, we would get an expansion to a land that is, well, I think all of us will say is somewhat popular, especially it's e-ticket attraction, and in a park that desperately needs attractions. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, why haven't we gotten expansions? Now, from what I have heard, it's like, well, James Cameron's working on new concepts for these films, and then once some of these films come out, maybe you can pull something from that and then incorporate it into the world of Pandora at Animal Kingdom. But it is kind of one of those things where it's like, if there was really a desire from the public and from what Disney actually sees, you would think that they would invest, heavily on an ongoing basis with Animal Kingdom's version. Yeah, we just really haven't seen that.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to point out about the box office for these previous movies. So the first movie was a spectacle, right? It was the first movie that ever really got 3D right at a time in which everybody was trying to get 3D right. 3D was a big thing at the time.
Right.
And then the second movie comes out 13 years later. That's enough
insane.
time for there to be a nostalgia twinge
Mm-hmm.
for this. It's
Mhm.
I saw this when I was 12 and now I'm 25.
Kind
And
of
I
like The
want to feel the way
Incredibles.
I want to feel the way I felt when I was 12 in the movie theater again.
Yeah.
This one now is 3 years after the last one. No one has nostalgia for it anymore.
Yeah.
That's
wondering
why
if
this
there
is
was-
not selling as well. It's never been that people love the story. It's never been that people love the world. It is just that one, it was pretty, and two, people got nostalgic for it. And I will say, James Cameron's name carries weight. He is not a director that loses money. So
It also played very large internationally, and it's going to need all the international box office it can possibly get, really. And if people internationally are nostalgic for it, hopefully they show up in the theaters. I mean, that's really what it is. But in terms of cultural impact in North America, just not there.
yeah, absolutely.
How did this do in Asia, guys?
Absolutely,
I'm just
guys.
curious because I don't
Anything else?
know.
Oh, it does remarkably well in Asia.
Okay.
It does very well.
Okay. I was curious because I don't know. All right. Well,
Yeah, I mean, China has always been a big supporter of Avatar.
okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, if I bring up the original Avatar right now on the numbers,
We're not able to see on a map like what part of the, because this thing is global. It's popular globally, but what area in the world is it most popular? Is the money coming from? I'm just curious. I don't
So
even know if that's a thing.
So the numbers breaks it down, and you can break it down by international, and it will give you. Give me a second here. It'll give you the box office breakdown international of where like the most money is actually.
Oh, here
from,
we
or
go.
most support. You can see right there the Asia region, huge between China and
Oh,
Japan,
yeah.
and then Russia, which is very interesting because
It is
they cut off-
interesting.
They've cut off box office. They've cut off movies from that region right there. They're not going to be getting that on.
In Erika's neck of the woods, they don't care
Like
for it.
nobody cares. I saw that too. I'm like, yeah, nobody cares over here. That's about right.
Remember, this is top 10 territories, and you're talking about a lot of countries that are actually involved here. So to be in the top 10 is actually very interesting. But United Kingdom, huge. South Korea, huge. So
Oh, I see. Top 10. Okay.
yeah, it does have international. These play really big, and like I said before, these films tend to leg out. I think what we're all keying in on is one, the Chinese box office has been very inconsistent, and the returns from the Chinese box office haven't been that great at all. The other thing too is that the reviews for this have, at least Fire and Ash, that is, are the lowest that have that one of these films has debuted with. So it's kind of like, is momentum already running out at a time when Disney seems to be investing more in Avatar?
So they're trying to bring everybody from the west, the east side of the world to the west side, because we have the lands here, and pretty soon Paris will have it. That's really interesting.
It really is interesting to see how the Disney is trying to capitalize on this franchise, because they understand that, at least box office wise, this is the most successful one that they have right now. Marvel really has fallen off big time, and Star Wars, unfortunately, outside of Force Awakens, hasn't come anywhere close to cracking that $2 billion figure. So it's like, okay, well, this is a 20th Century Fox asset. This shows shareholders that we knew what we were doing when we purchased Fox for $70 billion and now have $40 billion in debt still on the books from that. It's like there are multiple reasons by which Bob Iger and the executive leadership at Disney would want to invest in this franchise and want to capitalize on it. The problem is it might be running out of steam before we get to 3, 4, 5.
Yep. Well, guys, time will tell what is going to happen with Avatar, with James Cameron, with Disney and its theme park rights that they have invested so heavily in this franchise. We can talk about it until we're blue in the face.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.